Now we've got the sander thicknesser out, and first thing we're going to do is stick this piece of hickory through it. I want to get that down to 3mm. So just a point, actually, there's a couple of things from the previous video in this series which were not quite accurate. For instance, this bow. I think in the previous video I was saying that this inlaid wood here is rosewood, I believe I said it was, and it's not. It's what is it? It's walnut. It's American walnut, and that's it there. So it's not rosewood, it's American walnut, which is in that first bow, but it is indeed Purple Heart, which has gone into this one. Okay, so we're going to start taking these things down to the correct thickness, so that when it comes to gluing the bow together and tillering, things should be a lot easier. First one, hickory, and that's going down to 3mm throughout. So I'm going to switch the machines on. It's going to be quite noisy. We'll run this through, and I'll just drop back now and again, tell you how things are going with it. Okay, so the hickory's been through there a couple of times now, and we've got that to, it's 3.3mm in the middle there. It is 3.49 there, and it is 3.26 there. That's close enough, that's way close enough for me. That will obviously, when it's on the back of the bow, the finishing of the bow, there's going to be a little bit of sanding going on, maybe some use of the scraper, and that will take it down to its 3mm. So we can set that aside, put it on the table for now. The next thing that we want to do is take this Purple Heart down to 5mm. It's not much more than that right now. It's currently 6.9. So we're just going to take a thin sort of shave, if you will, of either side of that. We're going to do the same with that. One of them is for the core of the bow, and the other one will be making the handle section with. So this piece for the handle section, I'll cut a few pieces off that we can splice into the handle later. So I'm going to call that done and ready for the handle. And what I'm going to do is put this other one through and get this one to 5mm also. I'll come back once I've done it. Okay, so we've done the Purple Heart. That is now 5mm throughout, near enough. Next thing is the handle. Now, if you remember, we did these 3 handle sections here, and this is currently coming in at 32mm in depth. This very much depends upon what sort of handle you like, you know, it depends on how you hold the thing, etc. I'm going to make this end up about 35mm deep. The width of it is always going to be 32, but the depth of it, I'll make this about 35. It's going to take 2 strips of the 5mm Purple Heart, so that's going to be a 10 to add to that, which is going to make the whole thing currently 42mm. So we just want to take a couple of mil off each one of these, and then that combined with the strips of Purple Heart should give with the 35. So we're going to do the same thing with that. This is the last thing that we're going to do with the sander thicknesser for right now. We'll use it again because we want to put a taper into this this Purple Heart, and we also want to put a taper into the ash core of the bow. But for right now we need to take these down to the right depth, and then we can get to gluing the ash. We can glue the handle together and we can glue the tips together. Just a second here, by the way. The tips, I just found some of these that I had around off another bow. This is a little thin piece of Purple Heart here, and again a small thin piece of ash. I've made these 10cm long, and they're currently about 18 wide. The tip of the bow will end up at about 16mm, something like that. So there's a little bit of room to play with these yet. What I'm going to do is just stick them together, and they'll be ready to go to stick onto the bow at a later point. But for right now, what we're going to do is take these down just by a couple of mil each. That's pretty much set up. It wants to be a little bit lower possibly. We'll try that. Right, so I'm going to whack this back on. It's going to be noisy. I'll push this through, take it from there. Okay, that's now 28. We're going to stick a couple of 5mm bits of Purple Heart in there, 38. That's near enough. That's going to be okay for the handle. Right, so at this point I'm going to put this stuff away, and the next part of this video we're going to glue these sections in. Okay, let's do that.